So let's try alternate day fasting. Lately, I've been a little bit bored with my fasting routine. Basically eating OMAD and keeping it very tight and strict with my 23-hour fasting per day in my intermittent fasting. I found that either I was gaining weight or I'm just staying the same. And the 6-pound gauge, 5 to 6 pound gauge was bothering me. Now, you guys know I've done cleanses. I did a 72-hour fast last week. This week, I just finished about a 46, 47-hour fast. So I was searching around online and I figured I'd do a little bit of research on what this alternate day fasting is all about. So basically, all it is about feasting one day, eating your regular calorie intake, and then the next day, not eating. It's as simple as that. And then you repeat. Repeat, repeat. So eat one day, don't eat the next day. Eat the next day, don't eat the day after that, right? Pretty simple. The question for me was, could I stick to that kind of schedule for at least 10 days? And I think I'm up for the challenge now. Now that I've gotten past my 72-hour fast initially, it kind of, gave me a burst of energy so I can do more fasting and get back to the way I was, have my body back in shape and basically toned up to where I was pre-quarantine days. So I think the alternate day fasting might be feasible for most of us because you don't feel like you're always on a diet. You know what I mean? You eat the regular way that you would eat, whatever that calorie intake. Say for me, my maintenance calorie intake is probably around 1,400 calories. And then the next day, there is a laid back version of ADF, and that is eating less than 500 calories, meaning a very strict calorie reduction day. That's considered your fasting day. Or just don't eat at all and just have your liquids, which is water, tea, or coffee. And of course, we have to do the water with electrolytes. We need to replenish that with the Himalayan salt and maybe a little squeeze of lemon every now and then. It can't hurt. So the most common version of alternate day fasting is the reduced calorie intake of 500 calories or less on the day that's considered a fast day. And I think that's pretty feasible, and I think that is totally reasonable. And studies have shown that calorie restriction is very good for you, but when you're fasting every other day, you're basically on a diet every other day. And so you can have a good meal one day, and then you can go ahead, and maybe it's multiple meals. Maybe you're eating your regular 3 meals in that eating day, but the next day you have nothing. You get it? So you're always looking forward to the next day that you can actually have a meal. You can be pretty lax about that day of non-eating. It can be 36 hours to 48 hours, which makes it, 2 days actually. But 36 hours for me is eating like in the morning for breakfast. And that doesn't work for me, but I would tend to push it off to almost dinner time, maybe 3 or 4 o'clock, which puts me in that window between 42 to 48 hours. I think I want to try it. I want to try it. If you guys are thinking about it yourself, maybe you want to try it also. It's just another way of doing intermittent fasting. In the nutrition world, the phrase every other day diet is basically what it's known for. And that's okay, but I just like to say ADF because for short, alternate day fasting, I think that's the appropriate way of looking at it. It's still intermittent fasting. You're just going to stretch out your fasting window longer than you would. So maybe you've been on an 18-hour fast type of intermittent fasting schedule, and then you give yourself 6 hours to eat. Well, with this, you can almost have say 12 hours of eating and then do 36 hours of actually fasting. So you can have your 2 or 3 meals again if you are missing that for some reason. I'm not really missing that. I do enjoy my 1 meal a day. I just want to give the body a shock so that we can get back into motion of what we used to be before we became pretty confined in our areas, respectfully. I will give you periodic updates with the videos if you are interested in the ADF, and show you how I feel, tell you how it's going, and give you the honest, painful truth. And that's it. So I just finished my first alternate day fasting, which is really about 46 to 47 hours. I could have eaten earlier, but I just felt like I could wait it out until dinner time, because that's kind of the best way that works for me so I don't overeat. I did my tuna salad, my usual, less mayonnaise than I normally put into it, and it probably came out to about 1,000 calories, with also I just sprinkled some cheese on it, and I had a little piece of sourdough bread. I know I shouldn't have broke my fast that way with bread. You know, I was hungry. I just was hungry, even though I didn't break it right. So remember, guys, we're supposed to break it slowly when we do the extended fast. You know, like broth, some vegetables, or maybe just soup, something simple, or even juicing is great too. I didn't do it this time because I just, again, I got in the kitchen, I just went mayhem, and that's it. Forgive me. We're human. I'm eating plant-based foods, and I'm being very strict about being a clean eater. So if that's something that you're interested in as well, is being a clean eating, fasting foodie, then let's do it. Studies proven that help people with diabetes type 2, bring that down to where they're not actually doing their medications anymore, because the ADF has been proven to be just as good as doing a calorie restricted diet that's daily for extended period. Now, there's not a lot of studies out there about intermittent fasting in general, but these studies were showing at least a couple hundred people that had done it for over a period of 2 months. Now, I know that's not a long time, but that's what we have so far. I know there's probably other studies out there about it, but nevertheless, I really am not concerned about the studies, because fasting is in the Bible, and if Jesus did it for 40 days, then I think we could at least do it every other day, and that is not a lot to ask for. And so you're not doing the 3-day, 4-day, 7-day, 10-day fast in this case, so you're doing every other day. It could be harder, it could be more difficult than just fasting for extended period of time. Say you were going to do like 5-day fast. See, you're already in the zone in your second day of fasting. You feel good, so once you're in it, you can just keep going. With ADF, you are going, stop, and you got to get that energy and be motivated to get right back in it after you had your last meal of the day. Hey, I think this is a great challenge. Even if you did a small 500 calorie or less in the fasting day, I think that's totally acceptable, because if you look at the whole week all together, you'll see that you have reduced your calories probably about by 30 to 40%. And right there is going to help you lose weight. And so look at the big picture and don't look at it from day to day. It will really, I think, motivate us to keep going, and who knows, we may adopt it to do it long term. So my question for you is, would you consider doing ADF, alternate day fasting, for a short period of time? Or for those of you that are veterans already and doing it, would you like to try it again? And let me know how it's going. If you are working through it, I love to hear. I will dedicate some time to do some check-in videos that'll let you know how I'm doing at least every 2 to 3 days. Now, there won't be a bunch of graphics or anything like that, but if you guys don't mind me doing something on my iPhone or just something quick to check in, let me know that in the comments as well. And also, I'm on Instagram at regedited, so come check me out, or you can find me under my name. Reggie Sweat is my last name. Say hello. Love to hear from you. And again, don't forget, guys, caregiving begins with you. Talk to you later. Bye.